Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A few days ago, a question came in that can you please tell us about the beings that existed on the face of the planet Earth prior to jinns? And what is the take on this particular subject matter by Imam Qadri? And I gave you a pretty detailed account of that. Another followed-up question was that can you please tell us what beings existed on Earth prior to humans or prior to jinns, as mentioned by Imam Fakhruddin Razi, especially in his work Tafsir al-Kabir or some of his other works. Well, Imam Fakhruddin Razi interpretation in his Tafsir al-Kabir delves into speculative theology when discussing beings that may have inhabited the earth before jinn. While the Quran and Sunnah do not provide explicit details about pre-jinn creations, but Imam Fakhruddin Razi draws on earlier Islamic traditions, theological reasoning, and interpretations from other scholars to offer insights into the possible history of Earth before the jinn. So, first of all, when talking about the beings that existed before the jinn, he mentions hin and bin. Hin are actually pronounced with ha, hin and bin. They're often mentioned in Islamic work, and I've also told you some of the other works that mention hin and bin. So Imam Fakhruddin Razi also brings this in his tafsir, and it is also mentioned that they are said to have been physical or semi-spiritual beings created by Allah, similar to the jinn but distinct in form and nature. And these beings, according to some traditions, were also morally accountable but fell into corruption and disobedience, leading to their destruction. And Imam Razi references these reports as part of the speculative discourse in the history of Earth, but acknowledges that these beings are not explicitly mentioned in the Quran. As I told you, what made all of these big scholars delve into this subject matter is ayah number 30 of Surah Al-Baqarah, where angels, when asked about or were told about the khilafah of the ard, or the earth, given to humans or insan, their response was that, will you place upon it one who causes corruption therein and sheds blood? So Imam Razi interprets the angel's question as evidence that beings similar to humans in their capacity for free will and corruption had existed before. That's why angels were referring to this new being as would eventually cause corruption and would cause bloodshed. And Imam Razi suggests that these beings might have been hin, bin, and not limited to these, but there might have been other beings besides hin and bin. And that's why angels were saying what they were saying, that they had witnessed the actions of these beings firsthand before humans. That's why they were responding the way they were responding. And Imam Razi and other scholars entertained several speculative possibilities for what kinds of beings might have lived on Earth. So one of the things is that these could have been animal-like creatures with limited intelligence and free will, and they were tasked to inhabit the earth and cultivate the earth, but over time these beings might have failed to fulfill their divine purpose, leading to their extinction. And some traditions suggest that purely spiritual beings, distinct from both jinn, who are created from fire, and angels created from light, may have been the first inhabitants of earth. And some scholars have speculated about intelligent beings, perhaps resembling humans or jinn, who engaged in bloodshed and chaos. Their destruction was seen as a precursor to the arrival of the jinn, who were then followed by humans. And Imam Razi also cites the concept of divine punishment for corruption and disobedience as a recurring theme in creation. The beings that lived before the jinn, whether hin, bin, or others, were likely destroyed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala due to their inability to maintain justice and righteousness on earth. And this pattern serves as a warning and a lesson in humility for humanity. And Imam Razi emphasizes Allah's ultimate wisdom in creating beings with free will like jinn and humans and placing them on earth despite their potential for corruption. Each creation, whether the bin, jinn, or humans, served a purpose within the divine plan, even if their history is largely unknown to us. So while Imam Razi provides a platform for discussing beings like jinn and bin, he remains cautious about asserting definitive claims, as such matters are rooted in speculation and lack direct textual evidence. His analysis underscores the vastness of Allah's creation and serves to inspire humility in the face of the unknown. So Imam Razi emphasizes the limits of human and angelic knowledge regarding these matters. He acknowledges that much of the information about pre-jinn beings is speculative and not definitively established in Islamic theology. He suggests that these beings might have been mortal creatures like animals or primitive entities, intelligent beings who were capable of moral choice but failed their divine purpose. So the main emphasis over here is on Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 30, where the angels inquire about the creation of humans, referencing corruption and bloodshed, and their question suggests that the angels had prior knowledge of beings causing such behavior on earth. I hope that answers your question. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And before I take off, let me tell you that we will be exploring some other earlier Islamic works in regards to creations before jinn and what might have been stated by some of the big scholars, like we have already talked about Imam al-Tabri, we have already talked about Imam Razi, and there are a few others that I want to talk about before we move on to a different subject matter.